Download the free Gun Dealio app to your smartphone. Find out about the latest deals and news on guns and gear. Includes the latest Gun Talk podcast and Gun Talk videos. That's Gun Dealio on the App Store and Google Play.
#1 national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
Welcome back. As we continue the conversation, the national conversation, it's always fun. The anti-gun, the gun ban people say, well, can't we just have a conversation? We go, okay, let's have a conversation. And then we, of course, start to try to define the terms, because if you're using the same words but you can't agree upon the meaning of the words, you can't really find a common solution, can you? But they don't like it when we try to define terms, because they'll say, well, you're caught up in the meanings, the definitions, the technical thing. Well, yeah, if you say you want to ban this thing, we ought to know what it is you're talking about banning. At its core, that's the thing to understand, at its core, they don't care about the definitions because they do want to ban them all. So these particulars about what they want to ban this time are not all that important, because it's just a case of we're going to get what we can now, and then we're going to come back for the rest of them later. And they look at you like, what part of this don't you understand? But one of the other things that's happening in the current, unique, I would offer, aftermath of the horrific madman, crazy guy shooting of students in Florida, is a real national conversation about having armed people in schools to stop bad guys. Not the primary line of defense, but it is the last line of defense. And my position is real simple. If we know, and we do, that people will attack other people, it would be foolish not to have a last line of defense if everything else fails. What are you going to do? Your options are simple. You can have someone on the scene who can stop this guy, or you can call someone on the telephone on the other side of town and say, there's somebody here killing people. Could you send somebody to bring a gun over here? Because that's what a 911 call is. Isn't it? Send somebody with a gun so they can stop this guy. Really? Well, in the course of all that, we get some really weird stuff going on. We start talking about teachers being armed, and they are in more than a dozen states already. We already have a track record. We don't have to wonder what if. We can just say what is, what has happened. But there's the weirdest stuff going on out there, and people are saying the dumbest things about, well, you can't have women, and that's what it ends up coming down to. You can't have women carrying guns in schools. Robin Sandoval is the executive director of A Girl and a Gun Women's Shooting League. Robin joins us right now. Hey, Robin.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. I don't know if you are amused or frustrated by what's going on. I mean, sometimes I vacillate back and forth.
Well, a couple of weeks ago when a CNN analyst said that women, it's not practical for them to carry firearms.
I saw that.
At first, I was shocked. And then I thought, I just kind of felt sad for him. And, in our culture today, and it tends to be people get offended. And rather than get offended, I decided to extend an invitation to him to say, clearly you're very ignorant of the fact that women are carrying. Let me enlighten you about the training we have available and the products we have available and the millions of women that conceal carry every day. Let me invite you to learn more.
Wasn't he like a former FBI guy or something?
Yes, he had a very lengthy career in the FBI, and I just thought that was so sad that someone was posturing as an expert in the firearms industry with such ignorance that they believe that women don't carry.
Tom Fuentes, I'll ask him the question. And here's the Dave Morris. I'm trying to get the guy's name here. I can't remember. Well, did you ever hear back from him when you offered the invitation to come get educated?
No, we didn't hear back.
Nah. I mean, come on. Let me just give some background. For those who don't know, CNN has this history of faking stories about news, about guns particularly. As early as 1993, when we were discussing the 94 Clinton gun ban, I caught them making up quotes for ATF agents saying that so-called assault weapons are used in all these crimes. I went down and tracked down the person they supposedly quoted. He said, nobody from CNN's ever talked to me. Oh, okay, so they lied about that. Then John Zarella, CNN reporter, fakes the stories about AR-15s, shows cinder blocks being shot. When you shoot them with an AR-15, it just tears them up. But when you shoot them with a .223 out of a different kind of rifle, it doesn't do any damage to the cinder blocks at all. Faking the story. So I'm not surprised you didn't hear it back. But for those who don't know, help me out. Well, first of all, let me back up. Tell people what a Girl and a Gun is.
A Girl and a Gun Women's Shooting League is a network of women. We have events at over 150 ranges across the country, Girls Night Out at the range. We invite women to learn to shoot if they don't know how to shoot, and for those who do want to shoot, they can come out and shoot with other women, and we offer advanced and other opportunities for them in terms of self-defense training, competition, three-gun pistol competitions. We offer a wide variety of knowledge for women to learn pistols, rifles, and shotguns.
So if you're a woman and you have experience with guns, you can do this. But if you're a woman, you have zero, never touched a gun in your life, but you're interested, you could contact a Girl and a Gun, and you could get started and basically have your hand held through the process. That's
right. That was me several years ago.
Really?
Juliana Crowder. Yes, Juliana Crowder was a instructor in Austin, Texas, and she started the idea of having kind of a happy hour event at the range. It was an unintimidating, non-judgmental time for women to come and learn to shoot if you didn't know how to shoot, if you were just interested. And I was a new gun owner. I was terrified of guns. I was strongly opposed to guns for many years, a strong anti-gunner.
Ooh.
And my husband had wanted to bring a gun into our home, and I said, over the course of 10 years, I said, no, not with 3 children, absolutely not. And it was really watching Hurricane Katrina when I saw a modern American city debilitated overnight, and I suddenly recognized the vulnerability that our cities have when we rely on the infrastructure and rely on others to protect us. And I saw first responders unable to or unwilling to respond in some cases, and I realized that it was up to me. I had to be the first responder for my children. So that was the first time my mind had changed about having a firearm in our home. So once we got it, I wanted to learn how to use it. My husband encouraged me to reach out to Juliana Crowder, and I went to a Girl and a Gun Girls Night Out. I pretended to know what I was doing. I don't know if I was more afraid of shooting the gun or meeting other women or looking stupid or going to a gun range for the first time. It was kind of all of it. And the experience changed my life. I now reach out to women all the time who are curious, want to learn to shoot, don't know where to start, and that's really what we're here for.
Robba, describe for me the typical conversation, because you were there. You were an anti-gunner and then ambivalent about it, and then you had your epiphany moment, and now you're having these conversations with women. When you have the conversation with a woman, she says, we've got a gun in the home, but it really scares me to have it there. Where do you start?
I think the first thing is to address her fears. And a lot of fears may be irrational to those who are familiar with firearms or who grew up with them. When I was new to firearms, I thought it was going to come out of the safe and, I wouldn't have control of it. I didn't realize that it was a tool to use. And once I was able to learn the mechanics of it, how it operated, the business end of it, then it became far less scary. I knew I was in control, and it really just took that hands-on time, someone explaining it to me, and that's what a Girl and a Gun is so great at. Not only are we giving these women range time, trigger time, walking them through learning the basics of marksmanship and the mechanics of the gun, but we go to dinner afterwards after most of our events, or we have some social time where women can ask those questions. Like, how do you talk to your kids about guns? And how do you store them in the home? And how do you get your carry permit? How do you get into competition? And that's really where a Girl and a Gun is such a valuable resource, because we are just everyday women who are there to help other women learn in a casual and unintimidating environment, learn all these questions that so often men think they're born knowing, so men think the Y chromosome gives them all this gun knowledge, whereas women are really open.
You mean it doesn't?
Women are really open to asking those questions, and I am so honored that we are a resource for so many women who are looking to come into the firearms community and to get training. There's never been... Yeah.
Hold on just a second, if you would, please. I'm going to take a quick break. We're talking with Robin Sandoval. She's executive director of A Girl and a Gun Women's Shooting League. Check it out during the break here. It's agirlandagun.org. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN. If you have a question about this, if you're a woman and you say, I'd like to know more about it, or you maybe even want to share your story about this, give us a holler. We'd love to get you on. 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
Face it, sometimes more is better. That's the idea behind the double-stack, full-capacity pistols from Springfield Armory. From the groundbreaking XD to the ergonomic XDM to the latest refinements in the XD Mod 2 series, you can get subcompact, midsize, and full-size pistols in 9, 40, and 45. Carry, target, or tactical models. Fast, accurate, dependable. Don't come up short when it matters. Go full cap. Go Springfield Armory. Springfield-Armory.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
How many times have I said to all the men who've called here, I want to buy a gun for my wife? And I say, well, that's a wonderful idea. You need to give her the money and then get out of the way, because I'm sorry, you don't get to. She has to go get her own training. She has to pick her own gun. We've been saying that for years, and it keeps getting echoed. We're talking right now with Robin Sandoval. She's the executive director of A Girl and a Gun Women's Shooting League. Robin, the point I'm making here is that guys choosing guns for women often doesn't work, and frankly, the conversation, the whole Mars Venus thing is certainly true. The questions that women have about guns, or buying guns, using guns, shooting guns, competing with guns, it's just less threatening. Maybe is it fair to say they're looking for a place that's less judgmental, and that's why they like A Girl and a Gun?
Well, I couldn't agree more. We always say to men, we say to women, never let him buy your shoes or your gun.
I like
give her the money and let her go shopping.
Yep.
Because only you know if a gun fits your hand correctly, and only you can tell if your shoes are comfortable. You can buy them; they might look great, and on paper, the carry gun on paper may be the best gun ever. But until it fits in your hand and it works for your needs, it's not the right gun for you. And
Right.
Any gun that you enjoy shooting is better than any gun that you don't shoot and you don't carry and you leave in the safe.
Perfect. Exactly right. So how old is A Girl and a Gun now?
We were founded in 2011, so we're about 8 years old now.
Okay.
This is our 7th year. It's our lucky number 7. We have over 5,000 members nationwide. We hold Girls Night Out at about 160 ranges across the country. Every day of the week, there's a Girl and a Gun event happening somewhere in the country, and then we layer upon that with national opportunities. Next month, in 4 weeks, we have our national conference where we have 400 women coming to Austin, Texas, and we're going to be doing all kinds of training over 3.5 days, everything from shooting from the ground, shooting from the helicopter, pistols, rifles, shotguns, you name it, we're doing it. It's always a lot of fun.
That is terrific, and it's a wonderful thing you're doing. I am forced to ask you, you have this powerful group now of women who are shooters, who are gun owners, and the woman's voice, the woman gun owner voice, needs to be out there on the political spectrum. To what extent are you getting involved in that?
We're actually quite involved in advocacy, and we are a presenting sponsor of an initiative called the DC Project. There's 50 women from 50 states are going to Washington, D.C. to meet with Congress. We go every summer. This will be my third trip coming up in June to meet with Congress and talk to them about my story, why I choose armed self-defense to protect my family, why my Second Amendment rights are so important to me. Because you're right. I think when women have the face of a gun owner, it changes the stereotype. And you know, when men shoot, it tends to be a hobby. When women shoot, it really becomes the crux of the family, a family value, part of the family budget, part of the family lifestyle. And women do heavily influence the next generation. So we like being out there on the forefront and encouraging people to advocate for our Second Amendment rights.
I think the DC Project is a terrific idea. I would encourage you to whatever extent possible, to encourage your members to get involved on the state level, because that's where all the action is right now. The state, in every legislature out there, people are introducing gun bans. They're all coming out of the Bloomberg organization, of course, but it's the same bill, but it's real, and it's being introduced in every state. And I'll tell you, when they're having a committee meeting or a meeting at the state capitol, when you get a half a dozen women up there testifying about it, it makes an impression, because they're used to kind of ignoring, if you will, the guys that they feel like, I've heard this story before. When you guys get up there, when the women are there, it's a story they haven't heard before. Is that fair?
Well, honestly, I want to take the word mom back, because the Moms Demand Action Group has become the moms. And I'm up there saying, no, I'm the mom. I want to take those words back. That word belongs to me. I'm the first responder for my children. I became a gun owner to protect my children. When people talk about the moms, I don't want them to think of the anti-gun side. I want them to think of the moms like me and the moms of our organization. I
like that. I am the first responder for my children.
Absolutely.
And you are, because you're the one who's going to be there.
Right. Absolutely.
So what's the reaction been when you talk to someone, a woman, and she finds out about your group? I'm envisioning that conversation when they're going, at first they're not quite getting it, and then it's kind of like, really? That's cool.
Well, we kind of meet women where they are. Sometimes they're interested in learning the basics of marksmanship. Sometimes they're not yet ready to carry. Sometimes they are interested in other forms of defense. And really we say, find your level of comfort. We know where we are and where we want you to get. But if you're just about, if we can just get you to be more situationally aware, that's the first step. Look over your shoulder. Put your phone down. Don't leave your purse in your shopping cart. If we can just get you to pay attention, that's the first step. Then we start talking about, what tools do you have in your toolbox? What are you comfortable with to protect yourself? Then we'll learn the basics of marksmanship. Then we'll introduce you to concealed carry and armed defense. But we really meet women where they are, and we let them ask questions. We don't pass judgment to say, well, if you're not ready to carry, in the chamber, then you can't be part of our group. We say, where's your comfort level? How can we encourage you and empower you? Because what we see is when women's groupings get smaller on the range, their confidence gets larger in all areas of their lives. That empowerment translates into so many areas.
That's really interesting. When their groups get smaller on the range, their confidence gets larger in all areas of their life. How does that happen? What's happening there?
Oh, I see it all the time. There are women who say, I never would have done something had I not been feeling more empowered from shooting. Going to being with these other women, being part of a community that's supportive. One example is I had a woman that came to one of our events one time. We had a weekend event out at the NRA Whittington Center, beautiful facility. And we had a retreat weekend. And this woman came, she was newly divorced, kind of lost in her life, wasn't really sure, what direction she wanted to go. And she was feeling really depressed. And she had never shot shotgun. And we did a natural terrain 3-gun stage. And she found out she was a great shotgunner. She was natural at it. She would never have tried it, and she loved it. She went home a different woman. She said that she leads a Girl Scout troop. She took the girls bowling, and she said, I never got up to bowl because I didn't want anyone to look at me. But I figured, you know what, I'm going to try it. And I found out I'm a pretty good bowler, too. And not only did she become a certified instructor firearms instructor. She was the first one to get a merit badge program for the Girl Scouts of America in marksmanship.
Oh, wow,
So
that's terrific.
Not only are we changing women's lives and giving them empowerment and giving them women to cheer them on, but we're seriously changing the future.
That is so outstanding, and I am encouraged. I have been saying for so long that we need a lot more women firearms instructors, and anything you could do on that level is huge.
We're actually launching our own Girl in a Gun Certified Trainer program this April. Tatiana Whitlock is our Director of Training, and we have our curriculum that kind of complements the NRA instructor curriculum, but is different. It's geared just for women. It's a first program for women by women. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have all these classes that are available to women. Really, the entry-level shooter, that's really kind of our heart mission, is bringing her in and getting her trained, creating confident and educated consumers so that she can go to a gun range and know what she's talking about. That's really where our heart mission is.
How about young girls?
Yeah, we have a thriving junior program, too. There's a lot of times when we have a lot of junior competitive shooters, mm-hmm. and it's definitely a family activity. We have a lot of families involved in the shooting time at the shooting range.
Robin, I'm so excited about what you're doing. It is such a wonderful thing. You're changing lives. You're giving women a way to get over a fear. And fear is debilitating, and it's a horrible thing to have in your life. And if you can, as you said, the knowledge just makes the fear evaporate. You're just doing a wonderful thing there.
Thank you.
No, congratulations. I am so excited about it. It's called A Girl and a Gun Women's Shooting League, and I would encourage anybody, if you're a guy, encourage the women in your life to get involved, agirlandagun.org, and at least just start the process. Robin, again, thank you so much. Congratulations on everything you're doing.
Great. Thank you for having me.
You bet. You take care. Yeah, there's a program you can get behind. And I've seen it before, the whole life-changing thing. They come away and go, I can do this. I know this was hard or it was scary, and I had somebody to lead me through it. It's basically like having a guide that takes you through the whole thing. And that is a wonderful project. That's, well, congratulations. By the way, if you're a woman shooter, they need instructors. They need people to help. We need more women instructors out there anyway. All right, open lines for you now, 866-TALK-GUN. What's the most outrageous thing you have seen in the media about the park gun shooting and teachers with guns and all the rest? I mean, it's kind of a tough choice, I know, but let me know what you think.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Our article in the Washington Post. The NRA and its allies use jargon to bully gun control supporters. What they do is, it's an interesting tactic. They're saying that we, gun owners, require them to use precise language, and that is unfair. And so they have a name for it. They call it gunsplaining, a variation of the mansplaining charge. By giving it a name like that, what they do is they are attempting to give the gun ban groups the ability to shout you down when you try to explain, no, a barrel shroud is not, in fact, a shoulder thing that goes up. And they can say, stop that, you're trying to gunsplain me. It doesn't matter. Well, yeah, it does matter. It is, in fact, the heart of the whole thing. If you're trying to have a conversation about any item and we can't agree on the definition of the words we're using, we can never have a conversation, can we? By the way, I was tinkering around with my Blink cameras the other day. They're the ones, little bitty things about the size. If you may not be a smoker, but you may still remember how big a cigarette pack is. They're about the size of a cigarette pack, or if you will, maybe a deck of cards. Run off the batteries, run off the internet. It took me a while to get our internet going again after we got the house rebuilt after the fire. But now we have internet, and it's all working, and I can use the Blink cameras from anywhere. from Germany, where I was last week for the EWA show, and can check video. I get alerts, motion detection, all of that. Simple as it could be. Really easy to use, the Blink cameras. The guys at Blink tell me that if you use our order cool deal we have going with them, you can get 3 of their cameras for what the other guys charge for 1, and then you get an extra 10% off when you use the Gun Talk code. It's blinkprotect.com/gun talk. Got to have that, right? Blinkprotect.com/gun talk, and then you put in the discount code Gun Talk, one word, uppercase or lowercase, doesn't matter. You get 10% off. Blinkprotect.com/gun talk for the Blink security cameras. Out of Oswego, Illinois, 2 people have been charged with a knife attack that was stopped by a man who was carrying an AR-15. Yeah, that really doesn't fit the dialogue that the media wants to have. A neighbor saw this attack going on. He says, I went back to my room, into my house, and grabbed my AR-15, grabbed the AR-15 over my handgun. It's just a bigger gun. And I think a little bit more of an intimidation factor played a part in actually stopping him. He didn't shoot anybody. He just grabbed his AR-15 and stopped the attack. Does 2 things. One, points out that an AR-15 is good for saving lives, as we know from Sutherland Springs, Texas. But also, as is generally the case, self-defense with a gun usually doesn't involve pulling the trigger and shooting anybody. You point the gun at them and say, stop that, and they go, enlightened. I think I will stop that. And they're off and running. So there you go. Let's see. Line 4, Mel's with us out of Missouri, I believe that is. Hey, Mel.
Hey, Tom. The P365, it sounds great. I love it. And everybody in the gun press is enthusiastic. But I've been carrying a P11. I own 2 of them. And it's the identical size and shape, except the 365 is 3 ounces heavier.
Okay.
So for people that can never, I'm just saying, for people that think I can't afford the 365 and I'm not going to be able to get one for a no number of months, the difference is obviously the trigger, it's double action. But I just thought I'd say it's a great concept, but other people have done the identical thing in the past.
Well, yeah, there are other guns that are similar. I had a guy just send me some pictures he shot. He has a P365. And he said, everybody's comparing it to the Glock 43. He says, actually, it's closer to the size of a Glock 42, the 380, as opposed to the 9mm. And it's a teeny tiny little 9, the P365 is. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, there are other guns out there. It's nice to have yet another one. What's the carrying capacity of the P11?
Well, it's 10 plus 1 or 12 plus 1 if you want to buy the other mags. And when I studied what to use, what to carry when I was finally ready, I figured this single stack 6-7 thing, that may not be enough. So P11 hit the jackpot. It seemed like the best thing to get at the time.
Good deal. That's a good range report. I appreciate it, Mel. Thank you, sir. Tim's on line 3 out of Virginia. Tim, what's on your mind here? Hey,
Tom. Nice talking to you. Just had a little thing with CVS here in my hometown. The
drugstore people?
They pulled all the gun magazines off their shelves. And plus, they got marijuana books and the new World magazine and all this stuff up there. It's just sad. Just a shame.
So, did you talk to anybody at the store about it?
I asked the key punch guy, okay?
Yeah.
The register guy. And, well, they don't have an answer. Nobody has an answer. I'm like, well, how about management? None around here to talk to. Okay, well, that's fine. Well, we'll find out maybe through corporate, maybe.
Well, you know what to do. I did not know that they had done that. And I have my prescriptions at CVS. So, and that represents a lot of money over the course of a year when you got several prescriptions running at a place. I'm going to look at my local CVS store and see if they have, in fact, pulled the gun magazines off. If so, I'm going to ask to speak to the manager. If they say he or she is not available or not there, I'm going to say, well, here's my phone number. Have the manager call me. And I'm going to say, what happened? And have them try to explain it to me. I'm going to say, well, look, here's the deal. I will, I'm going to transfer all of my prescriptions, all my wife's prescriptions to another facility, another store, as long as you have decided that we, gun owners, are objectionable, and our pastime, our legal, lawful, safe pastime is not something to be seen in public. You're trying to shame us with this, and I'll just do that. To heck with that. So I would advise you to go back or call and ask to speak to the manager and say, what happened here? And then if they say, well, we're just, we don't think it's appropriate. Say, well, cool. I don't think it's appropriate for me to spend money with you guys. So I'm going to be moving all of my prescriptions to another facility and go that way.
Absolutely.
All right. I appreciate the heads up. And look, if you get a conversation with them, let us know how it goes. Okay.
I certainly will, Tom. And thank you so much. Like I told Michelle earlier, your call center, I love all you guys. I just recently started getting your podcast because I caught your show one evening on the way home from work. And I was like, who is this guy? Who are these people? I've already bought a couple of new guns and everything. I'm like, I really like this. It's a good family here, good family feeling. And I appreciate you guys for everything you do for everybody here in this country.
Well, I appreciate it.
We look up to you, and we just, without voices, we have nothing.
Well, I appreciate that. I would encourage you, if you have not done it, I know you may, whether or not anybody's a Twitter person, but to go on Twitter and follow me on Twitter. I'm at Gun Talk. That's how they do it on Twitter, at Gun Talk, because I'm sending out information every day, usually several times a day, on articles that are coming out, news that's breaking, a lot more than we could possibly get out here. If you can follow us on Facebook, just look for Gun Talk Media, and on Twitter, I'm at Gun Talk. Sign up for the newsletter. It's free also over at guntalk.com. I appreciate the call, sir, and welcome to the family. This is wonderful. All right, got to run. 866-TALK-GUN. We'll be back in just a minute. You can give me a call right now. We'll talk about pretty much anything that's on your mind. 866-TALK-GUN.
The Ruger pistol that started it all is now even better. The Ruger Mark IV has the same great look as the Mark III, but now its simple one-button takedown means less time taking apart your gun and more time shooting it. Disassemble it in seconds for no hassle cleaning. Learn more about the Target, Hunter, and 2245 Light Mark IV series models at Ruger.com. The Ruger Mark IV, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, they allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
This is Jeff with Black Hills Ammunition. Our new rifle ammunition line, featuring Hornady's extreme low-drag bullet design, is a big step forward in long-distance performance. When you want the ability to shoot way out there with accuracy, flat trajectory, and minimal wind effect, our ELD ammunition is the right choice. The high ballistic coefficients and Black Hills Ammunition carry manufacturer gives you the advantage. Black Hills Ammunition, the power of performance.
Well, no surprise here. This story just breaking. Some officials wanted the Stoneman Douglas suspect, Nicholas Cruz, committed in 2016. Some school counselors and officials were so concerned about the mental stability of Nicholas Cruz, accused in last month's Florida school massacre, that they decided to have him forcibly committed more than a year before the shooting. However, the recommendation was never acted upon. Where's the responsibility in all this? Dozens of people knew about this problem. Dozens of people knew he was violent and dangerous. The police knew. The teachers knew. The administration knew. The kids knew. No one did anything. But we need to stop selling certain types of guns to law-abiding people, because that certainly will take care of the problem of homicidal maniacs who will use anything to kill people. And we certainly wouldn't want to have a last line of defense to protect the students. The very idea that we would trust people, because there's something going on here. Let me just throw this thing out here. The people who are saying, well, we shouldn't let teachers carry guns. There's a thing going on here nobody's talking about. And that is teachers are not respected, generally speaking. Cannot tell you how many times parents have come into parent-teacher conferences and either implied or said outright to the teacher, if you had anything on the ball, you would be making a lot more money somewhere. So there are a ton of people out there saying we can't trust teachers to have guns because we don't really respect them. Because if they really had something on the ball, they'd be doing something a lot more productive and making a lot more money. That's one of the underlying currents in this whole we can't have teachers as the last line of defense to protect our children. Now, make no mistake, no one I know of, no one I've heard of, is saying we should require teachers to carry guns. We should just stop prohibiting it and let the ones who are predisposed to do it and to get whatever training is required and to get involved if they have this interest and they want to basically be a sheepdog to help protect children. We ought to get out of the way, get the laws out of the way, let them do that. At least makes sense to me. All right, George is with us on line 2. Hey, George, what's up?
How are things going today?
Well, good. What's on your mind?
So, anyway, even though I live in New York, I'm listening through KTGO, I got to mention. There's a couple of things going on. We just had a woman in the New York State legislature that decided that the best thing they need to do right now is pass a law that says you can't have any kind of gun raffle in New York State. So that's obviously going to shut down a lot of the Friends of the NRA dinners and a lot of the groups that have gun giveaways where it's gun or cash as a
Ducks Unlimited
raffle prize.
Yeah, all the Ducks Unlimited banquets.
Yeah, and so that would, I mean, you could still have them, but you couldn't give away a gun as part of the prize. But
so that will really hurt their fundraising.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I remember when our original New York State assault weapons ban passed, the first guy up after it got over, he said, "This is a good start, but we hadn't gone far enough." But one other thing, something you had mentioned earlier, we need more people on a local level calling in the radio shows, writing a letter to the editors, and that kind of stuff. And you need to know what you're talking about. You need to know your law. You can't just call up somebody and say, well, that's an infringement on my Second Amendment right. You need to know some of the case law, and you need the law, because, I mean,
you're right. And let me jump in because I'm running out of time here on this break. You're exactly right. You need to be able to present your argument in 2 sentences. If it takes more than that, don't bother because you're not going to get it. And to say it infringes on my rights, they're going to say, yeah, and we want to do that a lot more. They're not impressed with the fact that you think this infringes on your rights. I mean, even though you're correct, you have to have an argument that is persuasive. It goes back to what I was talking about. We have to quit saying we're right, and we have to say things that get their attention, like women will save lives. Moms are the first responder for all their children because no one else is going to be there when they're attacked. When you say those kind of things, you win. righty, because you have hung on right to the end of the show, now you're going to get the information. We're doing a giveaway. It's called the Ring in Spring $7,000 giveaway. One grand prize winner is going to win just a whole bunch of stuff. A Springfield Armory St. Edge, an XDS Mod 2, XDE, 3 challenge targets. It goes on and on. Yuling Tree, Safariland holsters, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Go to guntalk.com/win. That's the guntalk.com/WIN to enter for a chance to win the Ring in Spring $7,000 giveaway. Aaron's on line 4 out of Altoona, Pennsylvania. Hey, Aaron, what's happening?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to share. I just wanted to share my experience as a school board director in a town just outside of Altoona. And after the Sandy Hook shooting, we took major steps to basically what they call now harden the school.
Right.
Where you have multiple doorways you have to go through. We have a device you actually have to swipe your driver's license through. We do have off-duty state police that we've hired. I sat on the committee to implement those policies. And the most important part was the ability of the school resource officer to gather intelligence. But one thing that I haven't heard, it's the responsibility of the school board directors. Now, the school board director is responsible for creating policy. And then the administration is required to implement that policy. So, if you have a school that isn't safe,
right,
well, then maybe you don't have good school board directors, and that's up to the individuals that live in the community to elect those people that are going to do the right things.
Yes, we all need to get serious and take school board elections more seriously. And of course, it's good that you've done all those things. And of course, I always say, and then when all that doesn't work, what's the last line of defense when somebody gets into a classroom? Who's going to stop the guy?
Well, we have our armed school resource officer. We do have a automatic rifle in the school that's available. But the Pennsylvania State Legislature, the Senate, actually passed a law, or it passed the state Senate to eliminate what they call gun-free zones. That sits ready for the state house to vote on. But I can tell you right now, there were situations at school board meetings that I know school board directors were carrying concealed weapons, because you can get into situations, and it's happened in the past, where you're in an expulsion situation or
people
making decisions. Yeah, definitely.
Well, but I guess my point is, when the school resource officer is on the other side of campus and the bad guy is in your room, I don't want to have to wait for him or her to come over here. I want somebody in the room with the kids to be able to shoot this SOB and stop it right now.
Well, I understand that point. And the point about arming teachers, I think, may be a little bit misdirected, to the point of that if you have what's called a gun-free zone, you're actually taking an individual's right to defend themselves away. So I'm not sure that I look at it as the point that I want to arm teachers to protect students, but I don't want to eliminate the opportunity of an individual, being a teacher or administration or whatever, to be able to defend themselves. I think that's where the Second Amendment applies.
Yeah, no, I agree. And as I say before, I don't think anybody's talking about requiring teachers to be armed. No one ever has even expressed that concept, except for the anti-gunners. They're using that as a straw man. But no, what we want to do is what you're talking about: remove the barriers for those who have an interest and want to do this, and let them protect those kids. Thank you for what you do, and I agree. We all need to be attending school board meetings and getting serious about electing members to the school board who can get rid of these knuckle-headed zero-tolerance policies. What zero-tolerance policy means is I, as an administrator, don't have to think anymore or exercise judgment. It's stupid, and we don't need to put up with that anymore. If you'd like to get involved in the after show, call us right now. We got some calls sitting there waiting, and they're going to be pretty interesting. Sometimes you're into a gun owner who wants more gun control. We'll be talking about that as well. In the meantime, take care, have fun, and get involved in your state organization. It's really important.